All right, let's do scarves now. I save scarves for last because I think they're the most difficult, most time consuming, but they can be beautiful. In fact, whenever I'm going out to something extra special, um, I'll generally do a scarf over, definitely over a beanie, um, and maybe over one of my fancier hats. It just makes you look like you're dressed up more. So let's look at scarves. I didn't mention uh, whether or not I do it over a wig. I guess a wig would be good for a special event as well. I just don't wear wigs very often. So I'm going to start with a basic scarf. Uh, Scarves for your head are best if they are long and narrow, like this, not big, giant squares. It is not a shawl, is not something you can get on your head unless you want to be wrapping it so big and it's giant. It's tough. Something like this is good. Um, I mentioned earlier, uh, no on the silk as well. I don't like to wear things under my scarves. I guess you could. You could wear one of those caps like we did on the wig. Um, I don't like to, and because of that, silk isn't a good idea. It just slides off of your head. And if you do get it on there good, um, it takes a while to figure it out, and you're knotting it down everywhere. Okay, so this one, let me show you about how long it is. It's one arm length. You probably can't see a full arm length, plus that much more. It's about how big it is. Um, and you'll want to start off center. So I'm going to start just on this half. At least start off center for the style I'm getting ready to show you. And the first thing you do is you put it on your head like this. Okay? And in the back, you've got two things like this, and you cross them over. Now, some people, and believe me, I used to be able to do it, but I can't figure out why I can't do it anymore, can just cross them over and do it from there. I always need a knot. I feel better when I have a knot. So I'm going to just, it's not really a knot, just one tie. Ooh, let's get it through. There we go. Just one tie like that. It's nice and sturdy that way. And there we go. Now, if it was just like this, not so nice because this is a nice thin scarf and you can see through it. But what we're going to do next makes all the difference. It gives it depth. It covers up the thinness. Looks really nice. So I'm going to pull it over like this. This is just the long edge. Notice they're two very different lengths. I'm taking the long edge and I'm pulling it over like this. Now from here, you can either be creative each day, do something different, or you can just have something that is just you. You just like to do it this way, and you do it this way all the time. So one of the ideas is you've got this pretty long hair. I call it my hair whenever it's like this. And you can simply take a ponytail holder and put it on there. Now, if you're a child of the 80s and early 90s like me, you've got a whole bunch of these around. And I think you can still buy them places. Here's one that's a nice green scrunchie. And I'm going to twist it a little bit just so that those two ends are together. And then I'm going to put a scrunchie on it. My scrunchies are old and the elastic is getting low, but there's one way. Let me show you the back. There we go. So say you want to get a little bit more fancy. I still have some pole in my scrunchie. I'm going to do a sloppy bun like this. Okay, here's where you get to the playing around with things and trying to decide if you like it. Do you want to tuck it in somewhere? Like right here, see how that's hanging out? All I have to do is tuck a little bit right there, and that's not hanging out anymore. Now I've got a nice bun on the side of my head. I'm going to keep going with this particular one since I already have it on. Another thing you can do whenever they come across like that is to twist like this and just keep twisting. You'll notice if you YouTube different ways to do scarves, lots of girls use twisting. Keep going, keep going. Okay, once you twist, you've kind of got the material wanting to do a bun. And so you just wrap it around. Again, you will not be great at this when you first start. I promise. I promise if you practice like you did when you were a teenager and you sat in front of that mirror learning how to put on makeup and learning how to do your hair, if you practice like that, you will be a pro. Okay, so I've got it around, and some ladies feel comfortable enough just taking this and tucking it into the little rose you made, and look, it stays. I get a little nervous about that, or I feel it get loose throughout the day, so I end up going to the bathroom trying to redo it, and then I don't like it. So I sometimes put one of these around it just to know that it's a little bit more secure. And I picked a pink one because I knew that there was a pink stripe in this and that it would hide it a little bit. So here's that. I'll show you how it looks all the way around. A lot of ladies do this bun down at the back, bottom, instead of the side. Again, I like things on the side. Let's keep dressing up this. This is another flower that I made back a couple years, or 5 years ago. So it was one that was just, I just bought the flower. I think it was a clearance one even. And I had some flower tape and I taped on a pin. So let's put it on. If I can see. I'm older and blinder. Okay, there we go. So I can put this right above. I'm not going to try to hook it. I'm just going to get it in there so you can see what it looks like. There you go. A couple flowers going on there. I like that a lot. I'm going to have to remember this combination. All right. Let me take this one off and I want to show you one more. Look at that. It is on there pretty good. I got this scarf yesterday at the Goodwill for $1. Do not think you have to spend a whole lot of money, because what you're going to end up happening is you're just going to keep buying scarves and hats until you find your favorites. I've got a whole basket over there of ones that I don't care for. I pay good money for a lot of those, but I personally don't care for them on me. So I'm going to donate those to the Gilda's Club. Maybe somebody else will like them. Okay, I wanted to show you a trick. If you want it, if you've got a real thin, I'm trying to get something off the floor here. There we go. If you've got a really thin scarf, or if you want your head to look more full, there's a trick to that. So first of all, look at how thin this is. I can see through this. Just take one of your trusted beanies that you have and put it on first. And this one's black and matches the black scarf, so it works out great. And then you don't have to fold it. Ooh. Again, I'm going to do off center because that's my favorite way to wear them. Got to look in the mirror here and make sure I got it on right. Uh, if you want to wear a different colored beanie underneath and have your scarf go up like this so that it's two-toned, in fact, let's do that so you can see it, because this black on black isn't going to show you that. Let's do gray. There we go. There's gray. Now we're going to take the black. There we go. And whenever it's longer in the back, you just pull it up like this. There you go. And then you can do your knot. There we go. Let's take this over like that. And here's another way. If you've got your two things going like this, I have wrapped this around a couple times before and then wrapped it into itself. Hope I can do it for you. And then pulled it like that and just worn it down like that. Let's keep going. Let's keep dressing this one up. This is, if you've got a sewing machine and you want to go to the trouble, I found this as a little leftover piece of material at Joann's once, and I just hemmed it all the way around on the sewing machine so I could add sparkle to things. So I could take this after I've done that and add some sparkle. And let's see, how can I incorporate this over here? I'm going to go underneath it, then on top. I hope it works. I've never done this before. But you just got to keep trying. Don't wait for someone to show you the instructions. Figure something out on your own, and there you go. Now I've got some sparkle. I've got some gray, some black, and some black sparkle. And that's how you do a scarf. Okay, I'm going to do one more scarf for you, and this one is kind of, I think they call her Rosie the Riveter. That's who I think about anytime I do this style of a scarf, because it is made, it can be made out of a bandana. All my other scarf designs that I've talked about have been with a long, narrow scarf, and this one is a square. Now, I made the mistake one time of buying a square that had all kinds of tassels on it, and I'm sure if you worked hard enough, you could figure it out, but those tassels just got in my way. This one was a gift to me from my niece, and I love it. At first, it was like, wow, that is some POW colors, but it's so pretty whenever it's on. So this is a square scarf. I'm thinking you can see about how big it is, like that. And I'm going to make a diagonal out of it. If you can. Okay. I usually go backwards. So I would take and put it on like this to where the point is in the front. And make sure I pulled this guy down. Some are not as big as squares and you don't have as much to hold down. In fact, sometimes you have to tuck it in or your skin shows there because they're smaller squares. This one's a nice big square. And I tie over here. Let's get this like that. Okay, I've got this guy I need to do something with. So I'm just going to pull him back like this so that I can tie him down. I don't know why it's a him. It just is, I guess. Like that. Got to play with all of the, this one might be better being shoved underneath versus over. Play with all the little things here. And I'm going to tuck this one in just a little bit like that. Tuck this in like that. And there we go. Whenever I do ones like this, I usually make one side higher than the other. This is probably, I don't know why, I just do. That looks fine sticking out or tucked in, whichever one you like. There's that. I think I've worn another square scarf before, and it has, just the length of it has turned out really nice to where a little bow showed up right there. So somewhere I've got one of those around here, and if you end up with the size of a square that there's not enough to fold around, or if you want to try to play with this a little bit more and get a pretty bow, sometimes it takes a few times of wrapping it to get just the right kind of bow. I've seen people leave them puffy like that too. That's cool. So there's another little, I call it the Rosie the Riveter type look. And I think that's it for scarves.